Could we be witnessing the setup for one of the most shocking trades in recent NFL history? Or is this just another case of offseason speculation that sounds better on paper than in reality? The idea of Tyreek Hill suiting up in Atlanta Falcons, red and black, has been floated by Bleacher Report's Mo Moto, and while it might seem far-fetched at first glance, there are some compelling reasons why this scenario isn't as crazy as it initially appears. Let's start with the harsh reality facing the Miami Dolphins as they head into the 2025 season. Their schedule opens with what could be described as a gauntlet. 3 consecutive divisional games between weeks 2 and 4 that will essentially determine whether they're playoff contenders or rebuilding candidates before most fans have even settled into their season rhythm. Hill's public frustration after Miami missed the playoffs in 2024 wasn't subtle, and his contract situation adds another layer of complexity to an already delicate relationship. With no guaranteed money remaining on his deal, Hill has essentially no financial incentive to stick around if the team struggles early. That's a dangerous combination when you're talking about one of the most explosive players in the league. The proposed trade compensation, a 2026 third-round pick in Darnell Mooney, initially sounds light for a player of Hill's caliber, but context matters enormously here. Hill will turn 31 before the season starts. His speed-dependent game typically doesn't age well, and his contract situation creates leverage issues for Miami. Sometimes getting something is better than getting nothing, especially if the relationship has soured beyond repair. From Atlanta's perspective, this move would represent exactly the kind of aggressive championship push that separating organizations make when they identify their window of opportunity. With rookie quarterback Michael Penix Jr. still on his cost-controlled contract, the Falcons have salary cap flexibility that won't last forever. Smart teams maximize these windows rather than waiting for the perfect moment that never comes. The offensive firepower that Hill would bring to Atlanta is genuinely mind-boggling when you consider their existing weapons. Drake London's contested catchability, Kyle Pitts' unique tight end versatility, Bijan Robinson's dynamic running skills, and Hill's unmatched deep speed would create matchup nightmares that defensive coordinators simply couldn't solve with traditional coverage schemes. But let's pump the brakes on the excitement and examine some of the practical challenges this trade would face. Hill's $35 million cap hit for 2025 represents a massive financial commitment for any organization, and Atlanta would need to either restructure his deal or have serious confidence in their ability to compete immediately. The chemistry factor also can't be ignored when discussing veteran receiver acquisitions. Hill and Tua Tagovailoa have developed elite timing and understanding over their time together in Miami. Starting over with a rookie quarterback, regardless of talent level, introduces variables that could limit Hill's immediate effectiveness. Mooney's inclusion in this hypothetical deal adds another interesting wrinkle, especially considering his ongoing recovery from shoulder surgery. If Miami is trading Hill partially due to injury concerns or age-related decline, taking back an injured player doesn't necessarily solve their immediate needs at the position. The timing of any potential Hill trade would be crucial for both organizations. Miami would likely want to see how their early season plays out before making such a drastic move, while Atlanta might prefer to integrate Hill before their offensive system becomes established. These competing timelines could complicate negotiations significantly. Hill's track record of public frustration when things don't go his way also raises questions about how he'd handle the inevitable growing pains that come with joining a new organization. Atlanta's young core needs leadership and stability, not a veteran who might create distractions if the team struggles early. The NFC South competitive landscape does support Atlanta's need for offensive firepower. Tampa Bay remains the division favorite with their established offensive weapons, and teams like New Orleans and Carolina have made their own moves to stay competitive. Standing pat while division rivals improve rarely leads to success in today's NFL. From a scheme perspective, Hill's skill set would complement Atlanta's existing receivers perfectly, rather than creating redundancy. London's physical presence, Pitts' unique tight end abilities, and Hill's speed create distinct roles that don't overlap, allowing offensive coordinator to deploy all three simultaneously without forcing awkward position changes. The draft compensation aspect of this trade deserves scrutiny when evaluating its likelihood. Third-round picks, while valuable, rarely turn into players of Hill's caliber. Miami would essentially be betting that Mooney can return to full health, and that their 2026 third-round selection develops into a significant contributor. Atlanta's organizational culture under head coach Raheem Morris would need to handle Hill's larger-than-life personality and occasional tendency toward drama. Some veteran players thrive in structured environments, while others chafe against too much oversight. Getting this dynamic right would be crucial for the trade's success. The broader implications for both franchises extend beyond just the 2025 season. Miami would be signaling a shift toward youth and salary cap management, while Atlanta would be making an all-in bet on their current championship window. These philosophical differences could determine how each organization approaches future roster construction. Injury concerns surrounding both Hill and Mooney add another layer of risk to this hypothetical transaction. Hill's speed-dependent game makes him vulnerable to leg injuries that could dramatically impact his effectiveness, while Mooney's shoulder surgery recovery timeline remains uncertain. The reality is that blockbuster trades involving elite receivers rarely happen during the season unless circumstances become truly desperate. Teams invest too much time and resources building offensive systems around their top players to abandon those plans midstream without significant provocation. If this trade were to materialize, it would represent a fascinating study in risk management and championship timing. Atlanta would be betting that Hill's remaining elite years outweigh the risks associated with his age, contract, and personality. Miami would be wagering that avoiding potential drama and gaining future assets serves their long-term interests better than keeping a Hall of Fame talent. The NFL has seen stranger things happen, and the combination of Hill's contract situation, Miami's early schedule difficulty, and Atlanta's championship window creates conditions where this type of move becomes at least plausible, if not likely. What do you think about the possibility of Hill joining Atlanta's already impressive offensive weapons? Would this trade make sense for both teams, or should Miami hold onto their explosive receiver regardless of the potential complications? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and hit that like button if you want more analysis of the trades that could reshape the NFC South this season.